Okay, welcome to Magic Happy Pixel Dreamland, the game, aka Proteus. This is a avant-garde title. It's something that you would probably call an art house game. A lot of people would kind of probably argue about whether you could even call it a game at all. It's really just an exploration game. It's all about you just dropped in and you find this island, as we have. With a vaguely Minecraft kind of feel to it. You know, we got that kind of pixelated look to everything. And we're just exploring the island. Oh, something bubbled. What bubbled? Was it because I hit that thing, or was it because I hit a flower? Maybe the bubbles are butterflies. Alright, so this is a little, just a little bit outside of our usual fare for UnderPlayed. Thank you for watching UnderPlayed, by the way. This is a game show where we showcase various games of differing levels of notoriety. We try to focus on some of the hidden gems, as it were, less popular titles. And this is certainly not what you would consider a AAA mainstream title. But even so, it's a little bit outside our normal fare. Usually, on UnderPlayed, I like to review story-based games. I really like looking at narrative design in video games. Oh, there's a little critter. Where are you going, little critter? Come on back. Can I catch him? Well, apparently the critter can move through walls. Come back here, little crazy. It's like a, I don't know, a hairless bouncing lamb, perhaps? I have no sprint function. I do have a walk function. I can walk and sneak up on him. No, I can't. Okay. So yeah, we don't really have much in the way of a narrative setup here, aside from just whatever you create yourself. This is more about just exploring the game world. I don't know. I'm not usually a big fan of pixel art. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not my particular cup of tea, you know? I enjoy art that's a little bit more stylistic, you know? I'm not saying that I need photorealistic graphics and everything that I play, but, I like to be able to at least tell what that is supposed to be. And I have no idea besides something green and bouncy. So we have some clouds moving in, we have some rain. This game is kind of reminiscent to me of a title like Flower. You know, something that you kind of just play just to relax and kind of explore a virtual space rather than to be challenged or to solve a particular puzzle or be told a story. This is more that just an exploration title. And exploration is something that I really do like in games. I think it's something that's often underutilized, you know, in favor of set pieces and linear progression systems. Story and exploration are the two main reasons that I play video games. So this has at least one of those. Alright, so we've found a little route here. Now, what I find interesting about this title is that, you know, you can see it's all pixel art, you know, so you got that 8-bit kind of feel to everything. But it's trying as hard as it can to emulate the real world. You know, we've got these big green pastures and trees of different colors, kind of some with like little cherry blossoms falling from them. Oh, even the sun is setting. That's cool. We have some pink, hairless, featherless chickens over here. See what happens if I walk up to them. Run away, little chickens, run away. So yeah, it strikes me as odd, it's kind of uncanny, that we're creating an 8-bit imitation of the real world here. Whereas what I'd expect with something like this would be, you know, exploring more of an alien landscape. Something just totally bizarre with completely foreign matter. I find it interesting that they're opting to go for something a little bit more familiar. Is this the cloud? It's on the top of the hill? Cool, I can go through the cloud. That's neat. Underneath there's rain. We do have a rather interesting adaptive soundtrack if you're listening. If I'm in an area where it's raining, the soundtrack changes. If I'm chasing one of those little bunny creatures, the soundtrack changes. So that's really cool. That's something that, you know, is kind of unique to video games. Is that interactivity? You know, I can look at a painting of a crazy pixelated 8-bit world, but I don't have the opportunity for it to really interact and respond with me unless I'm actually playing a video game, you know? And I can have that soundtrack bring in different layers depending on where I'm at. So we do have some kind of day-night cycle. That's nifty. Another one of those little crazy bouncing things. Oh, the stars are coming out. How pretty. Again, I'm kind of just puzzled by the choice to make a pixel art game and yet try to constrain ourselves to realistic environments. Now, it's not totally realistic to have a snow-covered mountaintop on the middle of an island in the middle of nowhere, you know, right next to a cherry orchard. So there's that kind of level of surrealness or bizarreness to the environment. But the sky, it's blue and it changes to dark, you know, after sunset. It's nothing that I don't expect. I don't see any crazy planets up in there in the sky or anything. So I guess those are little fireflies that keep on lighting up. Is it snowing up here? What are these little white things flying off? Alright, so we have a good little, oh, that's interesting. We have a bunch of white spots that seem to be conglomerating over here. Now, I'm assuming since this is just an exploration game, there's no such thing as fall damage or anything. Indeed, there's not even a jump option. So, where are you going, little guys? How bizarre. We have some kind of little fairy circle. Whoa! Whoa, what's going on? Whoa! Okay, this is unexpected. What is this? Okay, now this is a little more what I was expecting. You know, some bizarre physics. Really playing, kind of stretching our boundaries of what we consider, you know, realistic. We have what look to be like little seagull space invader things. Again, I have no idea what objective I have, any. I don't think that there really is one. I think it's more just explore and then see what you see. I'm gonna head back up into the mountains so I can get a better look around. It was strange, when we stood in the little fairy circle, it seemed like there was some kind of time warp mechanic. Maybe it caused time to pass extremely quick for some reason. Now these mountaintops more look like, you know, they're not snowy anymore. They're more what you find in I don't know, maybe not springtime, but certainly not a winter landscape. So perhaps they're trying to indicate that there's been a huge passage of time. Oh, the sun's very bright too. My screen's starting to kind of fade a little bit. I wonder if I stare at the sun for a really long time, something will happen. Yes, it looks like we're having another time warp. Alright, is anything going to happen now, or is it just going to be weird music forever? Bizarre. Go explore more of the mountaintop. Look out over this pretty horizon here. So yeah, there's not really... Oh, hey, it looks like there's little squirrels or foxes down here. Let's go check them out. Hey, little guys, I want to play with you. Really hear that soundtrack kicking up when we find more critters. I guess there's little crabs on the beach, huh? Little crabs. How's it going? This is very interesting. I like the adaptive environment. I like the interactivity. I like the emphasis on exploration. I would like a little more significance being placed to it. I'm not saying that I'm pretty what's the word? Wide open in my taste for video games. I enjoy art games. I don't feel like every game has to have a shotgun in order to be a video game. But at the same time, I would like to see some attempt at placing some significance in storytelling or some kind of player interaction, something for the player to take away from this. I don't know that I'm really taking away anything just yet. I mean, it's a cool environment to explore, for sure, but there's not much beyond that. And I've played games where they've been non-traditional games, what you call art house games, with a heavy emphasis on exploring your environment. But there's also an emotional impact for the player. Specifically, I'm thinking of a game like Journey or The Path. Both of those are games that are very non-traditional. You would probably call them art games. A lot of people would argue whether or not they are games at all. But both give some kind of sense of progression or a sense of a story arc to the player. The Path kind of constructing this narrative concerning the big bad wolf. There's people on that mountain. How strange. And Journey again, kind of. Oh, bees! They make me run fast. Oh no, bees! Get into the water. How strange. Am I walking on the water? I seem to be able to move over pretty quickly. Well, I'm very curious to see what's up there on that mountainside. Those silhouette figures are. It's very interesting. Some of these strange little marshmallows. These berries? So yeah, I don't really get a sense of progression or of a story arc or anything. I just get, hey, this looks weird. Let's go look at it, But let's see. Maybe we'll get some kind of interesting story tidbits when we get up here and see who these figures are. Hello? Are these just cacti? I'm not sure what I was expecting, but I was certainly not expecting just a bunch of totem poles. Hello? Anybody? No? Okay, yeah, so due to kind of the lack of structure, the lack of any kind of readily observable narrative arc, you're kind of left wondering, okay, well, what's the point, I feel like I've explored all that the island has to show me. And maybe there is no point. Maybe the point is just like, hey, if you got a few minutes that you want to chill down after work, just go ahead and explore this virtual island, listen to some crazy music, chase down some crazy little critters. Which is fine in its own right. Let's try one more time warp, see if anything interesting happens as a result of that. Now it looks like more of an autumn season. It's kind of a foggy day. Lots of leaves falling from the trees, autumn colors. Okay. These strange little gravestones strewn throughout the island, which is interesting. Now, I've played narrative sparse games before. In fact, just recently, we just finished a playthrough of Antechamber, which had no real story to speak of. And I mentioned that it's kind of a storytelling device in and of itself to have no story. It'll allow the player to construct one themselves. My go-to for situations like this, I always assume that the main character is in a coma after a car crash and they're trying to come to grips with the afterlife. because really that works as an explanation for just about anything. It works as an explanation for, Lost. So maybe that's what we're looking at here. Or maybe something else that you would kind of just come up with on your own. I think that's certainly a viable storytelling tool. I think that you could say that it's a little bit lazy to rely only on that. To kind of just plop a player in an environment with zero cues, zero hints as to the themes that you're trying to explore, and just say, hey, make what you make of this, I like just a hair more structure, a hair more, of ambition in regards to the stories that I explore in video games. Is it a story about betrayal? Is it a story about trust? Is it a story about life and death? Is it a story about finding out who you are? Is it a story about interacting across cultures? What is the story? That's what I constantly find myself, is what is the story? And to a certain degree, inviting the player to take part in the construction of the story and kind of engaging in a dialogue with the player instead of saying, okay, here's definitely the story. I'm going to tell you, there's this knight and he went over this castle and he fought this evil wizard, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't have to necessarily be that cut and dry. It doesn't have to be that straightforward. But there does need to be a story. And so far, I'm not really seeing that here in Proteus, but I am seeing pretty environments and a great grasp of the power of interactivity in video games. Something that's often underutilized, I think. Perhaps not so much today as it was, 10 years ago, but just the act of having, a multi-layered soundtrack that adjusts to your actions in the environment. That's great.